Right now at 10, we introduce you to one officer who is being called the Snake Whisperer, and we explain where he got his nickname. But first, a community protest in West Knox County halts plans for a new affordable housing complex. We hear from critics of that complex and the developer on what's next. Plus, authorities are warning the public a man convicted of murder who escaped prison may now be armed and on the run. The search that's now closing in on day 13.
Live from Knoxville, you're watching Fox 43 News at 10.
We have breaking news as we come on the air tonight. An urgent manhunt is underway right now for the suspect accused of shooting and killing a person in Anderson County. Good evening and thank you for watching Fox 43 News at 10. I'm Katie Inman. Deputies in Anderson County say they are looking for that suspect in the Lee County, Virginia area. Authorities say they have identified the suspect, but they have not yet released his name. He is accused of shooting and killing a woman in the high school area earlier today. To a developing story now, Knoxville fire officials say the county's emergency operations center is active due to an ambulance shortage. Assistant Chief Mark Wilbanks tells us that happened tonight around 8. It was activated earlier today because of an ambulance shortage, and KFD and rural metro officials say they had to triage EMS calls. The EOC is typically activated during large events like severe weather. Wilbanks explained what a call like this means for you.
Once we get on scene, we're determining how serious the nature is, and we're getting them the first available ambulance if they need it. If not, they're going to probably have to wait a while, and we have had some folks have to wait a pretty extended amount of time today.
We did receive this statement from AMR, which says in part, Knox County experienced a high volume of 911 calls this afternoon that exceeded the capacity of available resources. We also heard from Knox County Mayor Glenn Jacobs, who told us as soon as the current circumstances resolve, we will begin conversations with AMR on how this can be avoided in the future. Turning now to the weather and a live look out over downtown Knoxville tonight. At least I think so. It was a stormy evening, and Todd, I know that as the rain moved across our area, it kind of happened quick for people, but what can people expect overnight?
Yes, some areas saw some downpours. Many areas did not. So it was definitely kind of spotty to scattered, but we did have renewed thunder showers, particularly East Knox County, just to the south and east of Knoxville. Matter of fact, UT campus got a pretty good shower, and in South Knox County as well, down to Blount County, but then north and rather West Knox County stayed mainly dry this evening. Here's what we're seeing right now. This is a live view from our downtown Knoxville camera looking west. 72 degrees, winds are north at 5. The first of two cold fronts has moved through. It's now stationary in the southern Appalachians, waiting for cold front number 2. Come on down. You're the next player on. There's look at that second cold front that's going to be sweeping in our region, and we're still looking at a few spotty showers that are hanging around. Matter of fact, we have an isolated shower in Lenoir City and Loudoun County. That's just kind of between Lenoir City and Maryville. That will continue to track on to the east toward Friendsville and Louisville, and then these showers will be moving out with cooler, drier air moving in. Yeah, good weather ahead. Much more on that just ahead.
All right, Todd, thank you. New tonight, Choteau Landing, which was an affordable project once planned for West Knox County, is no longer in the works. This comes after weeks of protests from people who live in that area. This map shows where the project would have been built if the proposal was approved. Reporter Lauren Davis shares the latest after that plan was pulled from this week's Planning Commission meeting.
The Dominion Group has withdrawn its proposal to build a 56-unit townhome community called Choteau Landing. This comes after weeks of protests from those who live in the area.
I'm a little concerned that this thing was fast-tracked in front of us without a lot of public or almost no public input. And to be honest with you, on the face value of this project, I don't see anything positive.
And he isn't the only person who shared concern for the development.
Flooding and lack of infrastructure to handle all the drainage already are rampant in this area before any incremental developments. So the list goes on, but there's lots of concern.
However, not everyone is opposed to the project.
Affordable housing in Knoxville is really becoming sort of a necessary need for not only low-income families, but just median-income families.
Misty Goodwin works for the Knox County CAC, and she says she knows firsthand why affordable housing is needed.
One of the things I hate as a director is to have to say to a family, you've got to move your kids out of their school system to somewhere more affordable. And so the idea is if you have affordable housing located throughout Knoxville and all of the different areas, that becomes less of a need to have to pull your kids out of school and move somewhere else and have them start over.
Peter Hall, the president of the Dominion Group, released a statement saying, Dominion Group has decided not to further pursue the development previously planned for the Choteau community. We are evaluating possible alternate sites that are in high opportunity areas, offering access to quality amenities and education that will facilitate economic mobility for residents. In West Knox County, I'm Lauren Davis.
The president of the Dominion Group also added that the group is still committed to developing affordable housing, and also that they are going to be doing that across the region. Right now, the search continues for an Indiana man who could be in Gatlinburg. Steve Sumner, who also goes by Craig, is charged with 18 counts of sex crimes against a child. Police say the woman on your screen is helping him. Her name is Sharon Barker. If you have a tip in this case, police want to hear from you. New tonight, a man charged with pointing a gun at employees at a Little Caesars pizza store pleaded guilty in court today. It happened in 2021 at the Cedar Bluff location. Records show Charles Doty Jr. brought an AK-47 into that store after employees told him his pizza would take 10 minutes to make. Today, that suspect pleaded guilty to 4 counts of aggravated assault. He is due back in court at the end of the month, and that is where he will learn how long he's going to serve in jail. Across Tennessee, 5 former police officers involved in the beating death of Tyree Nichols now face federal charges. Those charges include excessive force, failure to intervene, and obstruction of justice through witness tampering. It comes 9 months after the violent beating of Nichols by police officers during a traffic stop in Memphis. The young father died at a hospital 3 days later. Nichols' mother spoke on those charges about an hour after they were handed down today.
And he really should be here today. Tyree shouldn't be gone. He should be here today. And because of those 5 police officers, he's not.
All 5 officers are also charged with second-degree murder. New tonight, the nonprofit Street Hope Tennessee is raising money and awareness around preventing child sex trafficking. That group hosted a dinner tonight. Street Hope also works to fight the problem before it happens through counseling sessions and online safety trainings. The organization also serves as the only safe house in East Tennessee for child trafficking victims.
We also have Garland Oaks, which is our new restoration facility. It's a safe home and the only safe home in East Tennessee that is taking in child trafficking survivors ages 12 through 17.
More than 600 people showed up to support that event tonight. There are new details tonight following the death of 13 horses at Churchill Downs earlier this year. A report released today did not provide a clear cause on why those horses died. An oversight panel did recommend changes at the historic racing site, including a study of the tracks. They also improved veterinary screenings. Horse racing will return to Churchill Downs later this week. To a health alert now, the FDA says over-the-counter decongestant does not work. An FDA panel voted today to declare oral phenylephrine ineffective. The FDA says it's the most popular oral decongestant in the U.S. You can find that ingredient in things like Sudafed PE, Benadryl, Allergy Plus Congestion, and others. The FDA will now decide whether to revoke the drug's over-the-counter designation. It is unclear when that agency will make that decision. UT is headed into a big rivalry weekend with hopes of back-to-back wins over the Gators. Karthik Venkatraman joins us now, and the players are trying to up their game from last week to make sure that happens.
Tennessee football did beat Austin Peay this past Saturday, 30-13 the final score, but it wasn't always pretty for the Vols. And fans and the team alike know that the Vols need to be better than they were against the Governors to handily beat the Gators down over in the Swamp. The players not satisfied with their play in that Austin Peay game, so they held a players-only meeting. The point of it was to flush that last game against the Governors, make sure everyone was on the same page as SEC play is about to start. Against rival Florida definitely amps up the ante for the Vols, and Vols defensive lineman Amari Thomas says it was good to get aligned before this big matchup this weekend.
Whenever we feel like, that there's something coming up, or you might see guys just kind of falling off, lacking a little bit, we just go ahead, address it right then, so that way it's not a total fall off. And everyone, once we get in those meetings, we may watch a video or anything like that, just to get everybody back on the same page, to make sure everybody having fun, everybody enjoying the process, and just really bonding to the process.